All right, let's dive into a company that has become the absolute definition of luxury. But as you're about to see, this story isn't really about expensive handbags or fancy champagne. Nope. This is about a business that has totally mastered the art of selling one of the most powerful human emotions there is: desire.
You know, it all boils down to a really simple but incredibly powerful idea. You might remember us talking about the man-in-the-car paradox. You know, the idea that when you see someone in a flashy car, you don't really think, wow, that person is cool. Instead, you think, man, if I had that car, people would think I'm cool. We all have this deep-seated need for status and admiration. And this company, well, they've built a global empire on that one fundamental truth.
So what is LVMH really selling? I mean, it's not just leather goods or jewelry. It's desirability. It's that feeling of exclusivity, of belonging, that sense that you've arrived. And that right there, that's the beating heart of their entire business model. Now, sure, on paper, this is LVMH, a French conglomerate formed back in 1987. But what's so fascinating is that this definition, while totally accurate, tells you almost nothing about what makes this company such an absolute titan of industry.
To really get what LVMH is all about, you have to look at its structure and its just staggering scale. Honestly, it's less of a single company and more like a kingdom, an empire.
And that's because LVMH isn't one brand. It's a collection of over 75 of the most prestigious maisons, or houses, on the planet. I mean, each one is a legendary brand in its own right, with its own incredible history and identity.
And these maisons are all organized into 6 different business groups. We're talking about everything from Dom Perignon in wines and spirits to, of course, Louis Vuitton and Christian Dior in fashion, Tiffany & Co. in jewelry, and even Sephora in retail. The sheer breadth of this empire is just unbelievable. And this chart, well, it just perfectly illustrates the engine room of the whole operation. I mean, yeah, they're diversified, but the fashion and leather goods division is the undisputed powerhouse here, pulling in nearly half of the group's massive revenue.
Honestly, this is the best way to think about it. Owning a piece of LVMH is kind of like investing in a perfectly curated ETF for the entire luxury sector. You get exposure to the best of the best, all managed under one incredibly strategic and powerful umbrella.
So that's what LVMH is. But the real question is, why is it so dominant, so resilient, especially when the economy gets a little shaky? Well, that's where we find its powerful, unshakable economic moat.
The secret sauce is this one word: desirability. It's literally the company's official strategy. They are completely obsessed with making their brands more appealing, more exclusive, and more sought after, year after year. This gives them incredible pricing power. Think about it. Even in a recession, their wealthiest customers just keep on buying. Why? Because they aren't just buying a product, they are buying a piece of that timeless desire.
And this desirability is protected by 4 key pillars. First, they have a decentralized model, so each maison can be quick and entrepreneurial. Second, they are absolutely fanatical about preserving the craftsmanship and skills that make their products so unique. Third, they constantly innovate. And finally, they focus on growing the incredible brands they already own. This combination lets them be both gigantic and incredibly nimble at the same time.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The architect of this entire empire, Chairman and CEO Bernard Arnault, says it himself. Their strategy is specifically built for resilience, designed to thrive even when the economic seas get rough. Okay, so the strategy sounds pretty impressive, right? But what about the results? Let's take a look at the numbers and see how it all plays out.
So let's look at the 2024 financials. Revenue came in at a massive 84.7 billion euros. And okay, yeah, that's a slight dip from the crazy post-pandemic boom of 2023, but it's a huge testament to their strength in a tougher global market. But you know what? That's not even the most important number on the screen.
This right here, this is the real story. In 2024, operating free cash flow surged by 29% to over 10 billion euros. And this is the critical part. While revenue cooled off a little, the company's ability to generate actual cash, the lifeblood of any business, got even stronger. Now that is some serious financial power. And all that financial strength, it allows LVMH to play a completely different game than pretty much anyone else. See, they're not thinking quarter to quarter, they're thinking generation to generation.
So when you hear this forward-looking confidence from Arnault, it's not just talk. It's rooted in a strategy that always prioritizes long-term brand value over short-term profits. They are constantly reinvesting to make sure their leadership position is even stronger tomorrow than it is today.
And here's the perfect example of what I'm talking about. When they bought the iconic American jeweler Tiffany & Co., they didn't go on and on about quarterly synergies. They talked about making sure the brand thrives for centuries. That's a mindset of stewardship, of legacy building, and it's a huge reason why so many people see this as a company to hold for decades.
So, that really just leaves us with one final thought. LVMH has built this incredible empire not on some fleeting trend, but on the timeless, enduring human desire for status and for beauty. And it makes you wonder, in a world that is constantly changing, what's the real value of a legacy that's truly built to last?